Bro, I'm going to tell you this man to man. I don't care what environment you're in right now. It does not matter. You could be in the fucking hood. You could be anywhere. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If you show potential, someone is going to lend you a helping hand and help you get out of that. It's not just going to be you. And I used to think, oh, it's all going to be me. It's all going to be me. Self-made this, self-made that. No, I can't sit here and be honest with y'all and say I'm self-made, because I'm not self-made. There were a lot of people who gave me a helping hand, but the reason they gave me a helping hand is not because I'm lucky, but because I showed potential. I showed that I had some value inside of me that they could help expand, and selfishly they would get some recognition for helping me. As I level up, they can say, I helped that dude. I remember when he was in the hood and I helped him out. And I'll tell y'all my story so you understand that I'm not just sitting here giving you nonsense. I was in the same position, if not worse than you. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, right? I was born in Long Island College Hospital. And I lived between my grandparents because both of my parents were working. They were grinding. They're immigrants from Haiti. So I was from Canarsie and Troy Avenue in Crown Heights, right? Those were the two places I was bouncing around with. My grandfather, my grandmother, they're separated, right? And so I was getting into fights all the time. I remember I went to public school. They call it in New York. If you're from New York, and specifically if you're from the hood, you know, there's PS and then there's a number of the public school that you go to. There's no crazy public school names in the suburbs, right? So I went to, I think, PS 125, I believe is where I went to, or PS 129 or PS 123, one of those 120s, right? And I was constantly getting tempted to get into, gang related shit. Like when we talk about, getting initiated into Crips at a young age, because I had friends, I was making bad friends because I was a follower. I wanted to be in the pack. I wanted to be in the in crowd, the in group. So I was literally at a point where I was doing whatever it took to be the cool kid, right? I was this fucking little nerd, but I had this rage inside, and I was constantly getting into fights. I was constantly getting into fist fights, and man, I was winning that shit too. I wasn't sitting here getting beat up, because here's the thing. My uncle, who was close to me, who lived in the same project that I did, because we all lived under my grandmother's roof, right? All of my relatives who came from Haiti live with my grandmother to be able to build themselves up to then go get their own stuff, right? So I'm sitting here, I'm fighting my uncle every day. And my uncle went to Rikers Island, was in gangs, was doing all the shit. Like he was almost getting cut by Dominicans in prison in Rikers Island. If you understand Haitians versus Dominicans, they have this beef with each other and they hate each other. So he was toughened up early. He was in the streets early. And my uncle was always teaching me how to fight. Dude looked like a big dog. He looked like 50. He looked like 50 Cent. Dude was big. So I'm over here fighting my uncle. He's hitting me. I'm hitting him back. He's making me do push-ups in the morning. When I get up, he's like, Martel, give me 10 push-ups. And I can't, my skinny ass can't even do push-ups, but I'm trying to do some push-ups, right? So I'm getting built up as a man by my uncle. And I'm going to school and I'm getting into fights, right? But I'm also doing well in school. I'm taking school seriously because I have some interest in it. So as I'm building this up, I get invited to go to a talent school in New York, right? A talent school for kids who have like very, very high intelligence. They've shown it. They've done really well in tests, but I'm always getting in trouble. And plus, I never got suspended because of my potential. Because I always show potential, I'll get into a fight, go to detention, go to the principal's office. They call my parents. My parents will come whoop my ass. And they would have the whole family come over, put me on my knees. If you Haitian, they put rice on the floor, put me on my knees. Each relative would have a belt and they'd whoop my ass while I'm holding 2 books up. I'm holding 2 books up, trying to hold this shit. They're beating my ass. So I'm getting disciplined for the shit that I'm doing in school, but I'm also doing well in school. So they're telling me, hey, look, we want him to test to get into this gifted school. This school is going to change his life. He's going to be able to learn more advanced topics than he's already dominating these topics right now. I go there, and because I have chronic ADHD, I don't even fill out the test. I'm sitting in the testing center. The walls are transparent. So I'm looking at another family, and an hour goes by. I didn't even write my name down. So I failed that test, and I couldn't get in. So I go back to private school, or I go back to public school, right? And I'm still getting into fights. My mom's seeing me with the blue bandana. She's like, what are you doing? My uncle's beating my ass because He's with the blood. So he's not really, he doesn't like the fact that I'm doing that. So I'm doing all the shit I'm not supposed to do. I'm getting exposed to seeing people rob corner stores. They're trying to teach me how to do it. Everything's going bad. I'm this kid in the hood, and you may think there's no way you can get out. I'm only telling you this because I want to level set with you for you to understand that I've been in your shoes, or I've been in worse positions than you are currently, right? Even financially, I was on EBTs, right? I was on food stamps. We were going to turkey drives to get expired food to eat. My parents were working 24/7. My dad had a tailor shop in Brooklyn making money, but at the same time, it wasn't enough to get all of us taken care of. So we needed some government assistance, right? Section 8 housing, all of that. I was in that. Walls dripping, just wall sweat on my face when I'm going to sleep in a cot in my parents' room, because I shared a room with my parents since all of the other relatives had a room of their own. Rats everywhere. I had mice crawling around, cockroaches running over my face. I had all this shit, right? And so it got to a point where my uncle, and God bless him, he was one of the most successful people in my family, right? And so he was in tech, he was in the IT space, he was working for Honeywell. He told my mom, we need to get Martell out of Brooklyn and get him to Arizona where I'm at, because being in the suburbs will change him as a man. Will change him as a boy at the time, right? Because I was around 10 years old at that time. So I remember 2006, my mom literally tells me, we got to get out of here. We're moving to New York. I will do whatever it takes to get there. Now, here's a lesson I want you to pull from this. If I was a kid that didn't show any potential, that didn't show that I was trying in any area or any metric, that didn't show any sort of intelligence, they would have left my ass there and you probably wouldn't see me today. I would have been either in prison or I would have been dead. But because I showed a glimpse of potential, they gave me the opportunity to go to a different environment, and that radically changed the course of my life. It's why I can code switch like the best of them. I can talk like I'm educated, like I'm some articulate, and I am articulate, but I can also speak to you in this way where you understand me because I come from the same place that you came from, if not worse, right? I was watching crackheads take shits on the floor. Bro, I had a crackhead lady literally come up to me and say, I'll give you head for if you can give me some money so I can go get some crack. I'm 7 years old and a lady's coming up to me saying that when my mom wasn't there, because I was trying to go get some ice cream from the ice cream truck. Y'all know that ice cream truck. When you hear that jingle and you go out to the ice cream truck, I was doing that. That was my life. And I got out of that, and that transformed my entire life, because now I started getting introduced to other people. I started getting my act together. I started learning how to speak to the suburban kids. That's where my dialect started to kick in. That's where I started to speak different. My life transformed because people lent a helping hand. My uncle lent a helping hand because he saw potential in me. And all of you that's watching this right now, you have potential, but you have to show the potential. If you don't show the potential, no one's going to lend you a helping hand. And I'm telling you, these people at higher levels are looking to help people who have potential because they want to latch on to someone who's growing. They want that excitement that someone's journey is. They want to be on, they've already made it. They want to feel the excitement of getting up there and making it again. So they will invest something in you to be able to get there. It doesn't have to be money. It can be insights. It can be a new environment. It can be displacing you from what situation you're in to getting into a new situation. So I got to this point where now I'm starting to get introduced to the right people. I'm starting to get into sports finally. I couldn't get into sports in New York because it was too dangerous. My mom didn't even want me outside. I had a very overprotective mom. So I wasn't able to be outside. I would have gotten into fights left and right. Probably would have gotten stabbed, shot, whatever you call it. Something would have happened to me. Would have gotten involved with gangs. Would have just been just completely off the grid. You wouldn't know me right now. So I say this story because I tell you this to understand that if you are younger, and even if you're a little bit older, you need to flex your potential, and you have to maximize your potential by putting in the work with the potential that you have. That's the only way it's going to work for you. The only way it's going to work for you. If you have potential, you have to start acting on that potential and really demonstrating that you have some sort of an opportunity to grow beyond where you're currently at. You're never going to win alone. You're not going to be a self-made millionaire. That's not how this world works. All these guys who say they're self-made millionaires or they're self-made successes, no, there were other people who gave you a helping hand, gave your ass a helping hand to get to where you want to be. And now you're so ungrateful that you're not even going to acknowledge that those people helped you. To this day, I still call people who lent me a helping hand. I still call the coach that I had, my strength coach, my trainer that I had that lent me a helping hand in high school, that taught me everything I knew about fitness to get to where I need to be now. I still call the guy who helped me get into basketball, who trained me every day in the hot heat to get good, to be able to play varsity, to be able to dominate sports. I still thank him. I still thank my uncle for getting me out of the hood and getting me in a better environment that completely radically changed my life. I still thank my mom for working 3 jobs and trying to support me while my dad had an aneurysm in his brain and couldn't work for years. I still thank my dad for putting his ego aside and taking care of me while my mom worked when he couldn't work, and gave me everything that I have now as a man, gave me the masculinity that I fucking have now. All comes from my dad putting in the work and telling me the truth about life, telling me the truth about women, telling me the truth about people, telling me the truth about masculinity, telling me the truth about how I need to operate in this world as a man. That's what it is. And you have to understand that there will be people that God puts in your life to help you get to the next level. And if you flex your potential, they will help you. But if you want to sit and have victim mentality and think everything's going to go bad, you're fucked. You're done. You're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to improve. You're not going to get out of your situation. You still in the hood right now? You better start excelling because you're smart. A lot of my friends from the hood were very smart, but they tried to hide it because it wasn't cool. Fuck that. I don't care if it's cool or not. Do the things that are going to make you stand out so that you can get the opportunities that will change your fucking life. Do it. I did the same thing when I was at when I built my tech company. The reason why I got investments is because people saw the potential. I wasn't seasoned. I didn't have all of the credentials. I was a kid who came from a school. Granted, it was a prestigious school. And how did I get into that prestigious school? I showed potential. Basketball potential. School grades potential got me to that school that now is the #1 college for entrepreneurship and business in the fucking world. Babson College, look it up. I went to school with a lot of the people that you know that are doing really well right now. I remember I just saw, and I didn't even realize this. If you guys know him, he's Gstad, Gstaad, I believe. Gstad guy, I believe his name is. I went to school with him. We sat in the same classroom. I went to school with a lot of big dogs. I went to school with entrepreneurs who are doing 7-8 figures right now annually, younger than me. I went to school with these people. And I only got that opportunity because I showed potential. A lot of y'all are sitting here, you don't want to show potential. You just want to show victim mentality, and you wonder why you're still in the same position that you're in. You don't want to actually improve. You don't want to put in the work. And I'm here to help you put in the work. I'm here to help you see beyond where your current environment is. I'm here to be a beacon of inspiration to not only hood people, but also any kid, any adult, any person who feels like they have potential. Flex the fucking potential. Maximize. Become multidimensionally jacked. Start learning about other areas of life. Start reading different books. I read books since I was a young age, since I was a kid. Since I was literally 7 years old, I was in the library reading books. I was getting my mom to buy me books. I was reading the Bible. I was reading philosophical texts. I was reading all kinds of things. I was reading mathematical books. That's why I have the knowledge that I have now. That's why I'm multidimensional, because I acted on my potential. And that's what I'm trying to tell you right now is act on your potential. Because that's the only thing that's going to save you from the position that you're in right now. It doesn't matter if you're making some money. It doesn't matter if you're completely broke and you're in the hood. It doesn't matter if you've even gotten to a certain level that's admirable to other people. You still have to show potential of the next level to then get the helping hand to get you to the next level. That's how life works. It works around people. Learn how to talk to people. Learn some charisma. Learn that shit. It will change your life. All right? So I hope this video was inspirational to you and you also knew a little bit more about my story and know that if I could do it, you can do it, and you can do it better, because I went through a lot of the shit that nobody taught me and I had to figure it out. And you have someone here that's telling you everything that you need to do, cutting through all the bullshit. Fuck the self-improvement bullshit of like, oh, take a cold shower and then do this, do that. No, bro, put in the fucking work. The work that matters. Focus on that. Let's talk about that as self-improvement. I like to call it self-resurrection. Resurrect who your new identity needs to be and get to the goals that you want. All right? So I appreciate you, and I hope this was helpful. I'll catch you on the next video.